Nintendo Switch eShop sales, you love them, I love them, and right now is arguably the biggest Nintendo Switch eShop sale of 2020 thus far. We got first-party games, third-party games, indie games, tons of stuff is on sale, so let's talk about the games that I recommend you pick up. What's going on, guys? I'm RGT85. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, but without any further ado, let's talk about this massive eShop sale and what games you should have on your radar. So the way this video is going to work is we're going to go down the list of prices, starting out with the higher end games and finishing with a 99-cent game. So if you're cheap like me, you'll want to stick around to the end of the video. The first game we're going to talk about is a first-party Nintendo Switch title that I absolutely love. I think it's one of the best games on the platform, and that is Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, Luigi's Mansion 3 is currently on sale for just $41.99 on the Nintendo Switch eShop, which is by far the cheapest that this game has ever been. If you know anything about Nintendo first-party titles, they don't often go down in price. Now, if you haven't played Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Nintendo Switch, I mean, what are you doing with your life? This was one of the best Switch games of 2019. In my opinion, it was the best Nintendo Switch game of 2019. It has beautiful graphics, a beautiful environment, great controls, everything just feels absolutely top-notch in AAA with this title, except for that one annoying boss fight. You will know which boss fight I'm talking about when you get to it. Of course, the game does offer online play as well with the Scare Scraper mode, so there's a lot of replay value within this game. I absolutely love this game, and if for some reason you have not picked up Luigi's Mansion 3 yet, now is definitely the time to do it because you probably won't see it as cheap as $41.99 anytime soon again. Definitely a top tier recommendation, and definitely one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch. Next up is a game that released pretty recently on the Nintendo Switch at way too high of a price and now has a much more reasonable price with Burnout Paradise Remastered on the Nintendo Switch at just $34.99, which is probably around what it should have been when it initially launched on the Switch. Of course, this game was a full $50 price tag and a lot of people just didn't like that, although Burnout Paradise Remastered is a great game and the Nintendo Switch version of the game is a high quality version of the game. The game runs at 60 frames per second, so everything is nice and smooth when you are playing this game. It's of course a more open world style racing game than the previous Burnout games were up until this point, but I definitely think it's a fantastic game. And no, we're not going to sing Paradise City, but we will sing another song involving paradise. Almost paradise, we're looking on heaven's door. Almost paradise, how could we ask for more? If you're looking for a high-quality open-world game on the Nintendo Switch, you don't have any Grand Theft Autos to choose from, but Saints Row 4 Re-Elected is currently on sale on the Nintendo Switch for just $25.99. And honestly, this is a very enjoyable game. It's definitely not rooted in realism like some of the previous Saints Row games and of course the Grand Theft Auto games are. It's definitely much more over the top. You get a lot of superhuman powers that you can utilize in this game, such as being able to leap tall buildings in a single bound or fly around, and I think that really adds to this game and makes it more unique than a lot of the open world games that just try to emulate what Grand Theft Auto is doing. The game looks and runs brilliantly on the Nintendo Switch. It's especially impressive in handheld mode where everything just looks nice and crisp. It's one of the best handheld looking games on the Nintendo Switch, and considering it is a huge open world game where you're exploring the world of Steel City, I think this game is absolutely fantastic. There's also online play where you can play with a friend, so a lot of replay value with this game, and honestly, it's just fun to mess around in games like these. I love open world sandbox games because I just sort of make up my own stuff with the game, and the fact that you have all these supernatural abilities within Saints Row 4, I think it's a fantastic game, and at just $25.99 is definitely something you should check out if you're looking for something a bit more along the lines of a Grand Theft Auto experience. The Nintendo Switch doesn't have many realistic racing games, but Grid Autosport did come out on the Nintendo Switch, and it's a fantastic game, and it is currently on sale for just $24.49. Now, if you're more into realistic racing styles and different styles of racing that, of course, are emulated in the real world, Grid Autosport is definitely a game for you. I reviewed this game when it initially came out, and I was very impressed with the game. The game visually looks great, it plays great, it actually has GameCube controller support as well if you want pressure-sensitive triggers with your analog analog triggers so that you can sort of adjust how you're driving the car a bit more as far as acceleration and braking is concerned. They really went all out with this version of the game. They recently included a patch for the game as well that includes online multiplayer that I actually checked out as recently as last week, and the online runs very, very well. I was able to find various races, race with other people, and I had a lot of fun doing it. Like I said, if you're looking for a more realistic racing experience, Grid is definitely a game worth checking out, and at just $24.49 is definitely one of my highly recommended games. The Legend of K Anniversary Edition is available on sale on the Nintendo Switch for just $11.99, and this is sort of one of my hidden gems, either on the Nintendo Switch or on the Nintendo Wii U, because I really like this game. Now, be forewarned, if you are not a patient person, this is not a game for you. The first hour or so of the game is a really, really long tutorial that could bore you to tears, but once you get past that hour tutorial, you have a sort of Legend of Zelda style game with an action-adventure platform with really fun combat. You visit a bunch of different areas, there's puzzles to solve. I really, really enjoy this game. I just wish the opening tutorial wasn't so long because it's literally like an hour long. If you're able to look past that though, The Legend of K is a fantastic 3D action platformer with very fun combat. Like I said, there's all sorts of boss battles that you visit as well. There's fun puzzles to solve. Just a really solid game, and at just $11.99 is a game I think a lot of people will enjoy, pending that they're patient. You guys know that I absolutely love dinosaurs. I love Jurassic Park, and Lego Jurassic World is currently on sale on the Nintendo Switch at the cheapest it has ever been at just $11.99. You don't have to care about Lego stuff to enjoy this game. If you're a fan of the Jurassic Park films and the Jurassic World film, the first film in the franchise, you are absolutely going to love this game. There's full voice acting from the people that were in Jurassic Park and the Jurassic Park movies and Jurassic World as well, and you basically revisit some of the most iconic scenes from the movies, and there's also new scenes added into this game that sort of flesh out the world that you are in. I absolutely love this game. I think it's so much fun. The humor is done right, and the gameplay itself is just absolutely fantastic. If you're a fan of the Jurassic Park movies, I definitely recommend you check out this game. Like I said, $11.99. You can't go wrong with it. Madden may never be coming to the Nintendo Switch, but if you're looking for a more arcadey action style of football game, Mutant League Football Dynasty is available on the Nintendo Switch for just $9.99, and I really recommend this game. This is a game that not a lot of people picked up, but I've talked about it a few times. I reviewed it on the channel, and I've talked about it in subsequent eShop sale videos, and every time I talk about this game, people always reach out to me and say, yo, I didn't even know this game was on the Nintendo Switch. I'm so glad you recommended this game because it's so much fun. And that's really what this boils down to. It's not really a realistic style of football. If you ever played Mutant Football League on the Sega Genesis, you pretty much know what you're getting into. It's very over the top. Players can die and stuff like that. But it's a really fun game overall if you're a fan of arcadey sports stuff. The commentary can be a little bit hit or miss. If you're easily offended by PC related stuff, you're not gonna like the commentary, but I found it hilarious because it's very lowbrow and slapstick. Like I said, there's not many football games on the Nintendo Switch, so Mutant League Football Dynasty is definitely a game I always recommend to sports fans, and right now it's on sale for just $9.99. Now, if you're into more arcadey style racing games, Grid doesn't really sound that interesting to you. The next two games are available for just $5.99, and these are some of the best arcade racers on the Nintendo Switch. The first game is the Sega Ages Collection Virtua Racing. Now, I absolutely love Virtua Racing. I own it on pretty much every platform that it came out on. I own it on the Genesis, the Sega 32X, and the Sega Saturn, and Virtua Racing on the Nintendo Switch is a fantastic version of the game. It looks absolutely brilliant. If you love those old school polygons, you're absolutely gonna love this game. The game is silky smooth at 60 frames per second, and it has a lot of additional content in the game as well. You could do 8-player local or online racing, and if you do local mode, like the screen breaks up into 8 different squares, like it just looks absolutely crazy, but it still runs flawlessly when you're playing in up to 8-player local multiplayer. I think this game is a true hidden gem on the Nintendo Switch. I wish they would do a Sega Ages physical collection on the Nintendo Switch. Like, you've released so many awesome games games in this collection, you might as well do a physical edition, but at just $5.99, I highly recommend it. And another retro-style arcadey racing game is Horizon Chase Turbo. If you're a fan of games like Outrun, you're really going to enjoy Horizon Chase Turbo. Once again, this game looks absolutely brilliant. Some of the levels are very creative, and I love the different backgrounds and stuff. It has sort of a synthwave style aesthetic to it as far as the visuals and music are concerned. There's a ton of different cars to unlock. There's a ton of different missions to do. I think this game is absolutely fantastic. I reviewed it when it originally came out, and at just $5.99, like for 12 bucks, you're getting two great arcade racing games. What are you doing? Go buy these games. Of course, real-world situations sort of stunted the NBA season, but now the playoffs are in full swing, and to celebrate this, NBA 2K20 on the Nintendo Switch is available for just $4.99. I don't know what you're saying to yourself, RGT. 2K21 comes out in like a little bit over a week. Why would I pick up 2K20? Well, I mean, the playoffs are still going on right now. It's not like you're really missing out on anything. NBA 2K21 is a bit too predated, if that makes any sense. This is almost like a game from the future, considering the fact that, of course, the playoffs are going on right now. So all of the rosters in NBA 2K20 are completely up to date. If you're an NBA fan or a basketball fan and you're looking for a great simulation experience, NBA 2K20 definitely delivers on the Nintendo Switch. I love playing this game in handheld mode. I love playing this game in dock mode. It's definitely a very quality basketball experience. So even if you're a casual NBA fan, at $5, I think it's definitely worth the investment. Just make sure you have plenty of room on your memory card because this is a huge download. The next game is a game that I always hear people talk very highly about. I've never played it, I don't own it, I don't know anything about it, but that game is Transistor, and it is available for $2.99, and I think at this price point, I'm going to go ahead and buy it and check it out. Like I said, I don't know anything about this game. I've never played it, but I know that a lot of people really love this game. I believe the creators of Bastion made Transistor as well, and Bastion is yet another very popular indie title, so I'm going to check out Transistor. Like I said, $2.99, I really don't have anything to lose with this game, and maybe I'll end up enjoying it. And the final game is our 99-cent game for this video, and that is Submerged. Now, I bought this game, I believe, at $10 when it originally came out, and I really enjoyed this game. It sort of has like a bit of an Ico or a Shadow of the Colossus style vibe to it, but just no combat in the game. You're essentially trying to save your brother who is very sick. The world is submerged underwater, and you basically take your boat around and go to various places on this submerged world and climb up tall buildings in order to get different sorts of medicines for your brother. I really like the visual style of this game. It's obviously not something that's very action orientated, but it's very relaxing and soothing. The world itself is very interestingly created. There's lots of cool sea creatures that you see when you're out on your boat as well. Just a really well done game, and at just 99 cents, I definitely recommend picking up this game, and I think if you do and you like what you're seeing from the game, you're really going to enjoy this title. Alright, so like I said, there were a lot of bangers in this video. Third-party games, first-party games, indie games, hidden gems. I think we've got something for everyone in this video. Now, of course, there are a bunch of other games on sale right now. So let me know in the comments section down below what games you recommend that aren't on my list that I should check out, because I'm always looking for cheap games to buy because, I mean, I'm cheap. I think we're all cheap on this channel at this point in time. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Be sure to let me know what you're going to pick up from my list in the comments section down below. Check out other videos on the channel as well, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.